Justin Trudeau was at the Calgary Stampede, as he tends to do, doing some weird thing with his hands when he was flipping pancakes. By the way, I think it was like anxiety manifesting in his hands. You'll see some image. Yeah, it was just.
Yeah,
his hand is just.
He can't flip a pancake,
and he can't. Like, look at this.
I
Get the help to flip the pancakes. You've got to wait till the bubbles come through. That's how you know it's safe to flip it. The guy's an idiot. But normally he has his hat on backwards. We don't get to see his feet, so sometimes his boots are on the wrong feet or whatever. But he shows up to flip pancakes, and that's when the independent journalists get loose because he's busy making a mess on a really nice griddle right there. And so journalists have the opportunity to get a little closer than they normally would. And so we had our Sydney Fizzard attending Liberal MP George Chahal. For those of you who don't remember, he is the porch pirate of Calgary. He was picking the literature, the conservative literature out of the mailboxes, which is a crime, by the way. During the last election, he didn't really get in trouble. He was like, I think it had a spelling mistake. I'm doing the Lord's work picking it out or some stupid stuff like that.
Unbelievable.
But anyways, there were arrests at last year's George Chahal pancake event because you arrest prickly critics in Calgary. And so we had Sid there just in case something else went down. So he was able to at least put some questions to the Prime Minister. I'm not sure we got an answer, though.
It is truly a privilege and an honor to be here today with you all to celebrate Stampede, but also celebrate the extraordinary impacts on the larger community that the Ahmadiyya community continually has. Your message of love for all, hatred for none is a message the world is in dire need of right now. And everything you do to reach out across communities, to build hope and positivity is incredibly touching.
Prime Minister Trudeau, do you love the unvaccinated as well? They're still dying. Trudeau, how much money have you given Ukraine since the start of the war? Trudeau, does the mutilation of children in Canada concern you? Are you not concerned about the mutilation of children in Canada?
Thank you. Good to see you.
Trudeau, how many of the vehicles here are electric?
Thank you for all your leadership. Like I said, you are a huge driver of support and change in this community, and it's wonderful to be able to thank you tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prime Minister Trudeau, how many of your vehicles are electric?
That's a fun question, by the way, because the premier, when she met with him, he was talking about net zero. And the premier right to his face is like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
No. Yeah, we're not Doug Ford teaming up with you and putting out
I think
billions.
Olivia dug it up. But so that question about like how many of your vehicles in your convoy are electric, that's a great question. I pull that data all the time to see if it changes. But yeah, she met with him. She's being the boss man here, and she basically told him, your net zero stuff, no.
Yeah. And, these vehicles exist, Sheila.
I guess.
Wouldn't you think to, carry through the virtue signaling, you would have EV vehicles or plug-in hybrids or merely hybrids? But no, it's the polar opposite. It is 8-cylinder fossil fuel, typically supersized Chevy Suburban SUVs, and they idle them
all day.
Because when Trudeau with his Armani-clad buttocks gets into the leather seat, it's got to be perfectly room temperature. But you know what? What kills me, speaking of all the SUVs and his entourage, Sheila, what I loved of that clip where the Royal Canadian Mounted Henchmen that guard him trying to blend in, they've got the cowboy hats, and yet they've got the same sunglasses, they've got the earpiece.
I know.
And it reminded, there was a Second City shitty sketch. It was with Harold Ramis. He was an undercover Mountie, and he was dressed in a business suit, but he's still on his horse.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. Like, look at them.
Look at those thugs, right?
We all know you're cops. Well, and you know what? I'm not even going to say they're thugs because some of them are pulled locally to protect the prime minister when he comes. But just wear your uniform. Actually, if you wore your uniform, people would be less inclined to approach the prime minister.
That's a good point.
Because you're in uniform and it's sort of a show of force.
But Sheila, can somebody please buy Blackface a calendar? We're in the month of July at the Calgary Stampede, and he's going on about LGBT.
I know.
This was not a pride of what in blue hell
Do you know
the
what?
rainbow unicorns have to do with the Stampede?
There's a gay rodeo, by the way.
Is there really?
Yeah, of course there is. I think it's is it at Old? Anyways, doesn't matter. I'll get a letter. But there's a if the Olds rodeo isn't gay, I'm very sorry. But yeah, there's a gay rodeo. Like, nobody cares if you're gay in rodeo, by the way.
Yeah.
This is Justin Trudeau's bigotry of, like, I have to lecture these rodeo people about being tolerant. And that one question was great. You said you're all about tolerance and love. Do you love the unvaccinated now? Or do they still have to be cut away from society?
Yeah. No answer to any of the questions.
No, of course
but
not.
why is this an issue? Especially almost 20 years after Brokeback Mountain. Did you ever see Brokeback Mountain?
No, I didn't. I don't care.
No, either did I. I just didn't want to watch a Western where the good guys get it in the end.
Stop it, David. Stop.